Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be checking out episodes 7 and 8 of Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei. Very excited to be back here on this Monday night. It's evening right now. Very cool. Hopefully me actually recording on the Monday is conducive to things getting out on time, because it's been a bit of a nightmare recently, if I'm honest. Just trying to get things up there and out there and ready to go. Last week included, it was a bit of a, it was an ordeal. But we persevere, of course. If not, our life will completely become despair, and we don't want that, of course. And yeah, let's bound into those YouTube comments and get us off to a rollicking good start in the video, starting here with Sal. Actually, no, before Sal, I was happy that I read the public YouTube comments and they alluded to something in a pretty nice way. They pushed me, and I'm like, getting a little bit spoilery, but I appreciate it. They essentially said that episode 4, when it went public, there's a lot there that's like hidden. There's like indications of future stuff, right? They're planting seeds. They're like ideas afoot that will transpire through the runtime of the rest of the thing. This fills me with confidence, right? So it's not like I didn't expect this thing to elevate at some point and become a little bit more grounded, have a bit more of a point, a bit more, I don't know, chunkiness to it. Kukushigoto being my only experience, it certainly has that element to it, right? There's the whole future stuff in Kukushigoto, which was probably the most engaging part of it to me, honestly, even if I didn't feel like it ended particularly well. But anyway, that fills me with confidence. I'm happy people said what they said without being too specific, I guess. So yes, I will keep a keener eye, potentially, on things that could indicate future stuff in a little bit more of a concrete way. That's also to say in episode 6 we did get a fair bit of lore regarding family as well. Seems to be a dead older sibling. Could be something. Arranged marriages are a faux pas. I don't know, just keeping an eye on it, I guess. Either way, back to Sal. I instantly like the design of Itoshiki Rin. I think she's neat. I want to see her in action a little bit more. She seems feisty. From our short interactions there. Also, during that sequence in episode 6, I kind of alluded to it feeling very shonen-y and feeling like the setup and the kind of flow of that segment felt like like an episode of a shonen kind of action show. Some more evidence for this could be Chiri and Kafka getting, essentially power-ups or some kind of extra something during that segment. A third eye, you could even potentially look at something like a direct comparison to Dragon Ball there. It's probably on the cards, actually, considering that the silhouetted shot, I referenced Dragon Ball last week as well. Interesting, that could be more evidence to proving my point from last week. Now this one, much like what I was talking before, alludes to stuff without being specific. The scene with Chie and Komori at school during night bathing somehow really stands out, but I can't quite put my finger on why. Now, you could just be genuine and be, hey, this scene, it's quite stunning and, I always remembered it and that kind of thing, right? Without it having actual significance. Or you could be being cheeky about that scene having genuine significance. And because of that, I went back and watched it. I'm going to report that I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see anything specifically that I missed. There's a melancholic tone to it, I guess. It kind of ends on Komori saying Itoshiki Sensei, and then Chie kind of wistfully looking up into the stars. So, anything? I don't know. Just, you guys got me on my toes, I guess. I'm watching. I'm watching for things that may not be there. And last comment here from Error Unknown. I really do enjoy rewatching the show after all this time, especially with someone who's more or less found the charm of it. Me, I'm guessing. Yeah, I have. I like it quite a bit. And yeah, after all this time, potentially able to get a lot more of the jokes too. That's always a plus. Damn, it's dense. Yeah, there's a lot of text on screen, man. I haven't had any complaints with how I'm doing it, which is the liner notes and so forth, and then you just go from there. Again, I'm reiterating, if people have liner notes for Season 2 or Season 3 or something analogous, then please link them to me. I want to keep doing it this way. It seems to be working. People seem to be pretty happy about it. I'm just kind of skipping over the references, which I just straight up don't get, and referencing some of the ones that, I do, at least name checking them, I guess. But yeah, with that, we'll close our YouTube comments for this week and we'll give Patreon a shout out. As always, if you wanted next week's episodes 1 week early, Patreon is the place to go. Linked in the description below. $6 a month gets you early access to everything. So I would like you to click on the link. That would be cool. Many people have, up to and including Mickey Babbers, AJ, Bananarama Hamadama-sama, Bisa, Bobbin, Capella, Chobo Ribby, Copley, Sinarin, Dapper Dwarf, Darky26, Domobot, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Flirt Nightingale, Fruit, Fusel, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glank, Greybeard, Gus N, Hans Peter, Ika, Yako Yavanen, Jacob R, Jami Boo, Joran, Kasogtha, Kelvin, Clem, Nosta, Cot Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Master Detective, Mistake L Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nico Lane, Parnik, Pencil Sharp 333, Ragashingo, Ronlad B&K, St. Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Yuki Ali, Zach, Akumancer, Binshi, Voodoo Chili, Bin Flu, Leal, and the Lazy Panda Man. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money as I stumble over my words. Yeah, general setups, I guess, for the show. We got a little bit of a Toshiki Sensei lore. He has an older brother who is a doctor. He has a younger sister who is a psychopath. Peerless something, we called her, which was fun. She's also school age, so watching that could be joining the cast at a certain point if the show deems it necessary to do so. Other than that, it's still just the class of despair we're going to take the show in whatever strange direction Kometa Sensei wants to take it in, I guess, right? Whatever setup to do, whatever esoteric weird reference or, analogy he wants to do for whatever he wants to. It's his thing. I'm just along for the ride, I guess. And yeah, we'll jump right in. Like the video, subscribe, Patreon, and Discord, of course. Let's now jump into episode 7. And rightio, episode 7, up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 42 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I've got the celery subset, so use that one if you want the exact one that I have. If not, there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Cicada, summer. Indeed. Okay, yeah, bet. Copies? Probably drawing something, no? That would make sense to me. Can't say that's particularly surprising from our good friend Harumi. Drawing boys kissing boys. What's the harm in that? In this opening, we're drawing girls kissing girls. Or at least, embracing. So it seems like we're going to do a little bit more of a Harumi focus episode? Potentially. The potential is certainly there. They really are just a gang of freaks. I'm interested to see future seasons if we keep this kind of opening style going, which is clearly just the VAs, right? I never did clarify that with anybody, but it certainly just sounds like them. Obviously, visually, you might go in a few different directions, hopefully away from the whole pregnancy angle, because it makes me deeply uncomfortable. But I hope they keep the same vocalist, that kind of side of it. Musical style. Yeah. Emperor Penguin. I feel like I recognize this one. Abe-san again? Koizumi? Oriental Stork? Hisamoto... Okay. Osamu Kometa? I've definitely seen this before. I'd be keen to jump in for a direct analog on that, which I'm sure I'll do. Oh, broken glasses. It's no good. Oh, is he not going to be able to see what it actually is? Oh, it's manga. I had my glasses off. I didn't see it. Okay. Indeed. Do tell. Sure. Okay, we're getting a little bit esoteric, chat. I know one that Araragi's in, but I don't think that was made yet. I've gathered as such. Indeed. I'm interested of this one. Huh, I guess you'd call them both the same thing? I've never heard like a... Is it like fan fiction? We'll do a deeper dive there, obviously. There's been a miscommunication, chat. Great. Oh, that's really fun too. Yeah, literary. That's what it is. Thank you, translator's note. And they think he's cosplaying. Excuse me? Well, that was swell. Oh, okay. Is it? Where's all the stuff? One of those was Lucky Star, right? Who the hell are you? Oh. Out of sympathy. Fura? What is this? Looks quite impressive, actually. You may have noticed I love a good silhouette. Reality. Yeah, bet. No, I think she's just being nice. Oh. Yeah, no, lightning doesn't strike. Yeah, no. You can't do the same thing all the time. It's those two again. Okay. Really? It wasn't any of the other stuff? Okay, there's a pun there, great. Okay, into your full coma stuff. Fair enough. Do you, like, teach classes or anything, or? Bit of barley tea or something, is it? Yeah, these two are just hanging out. Some are hanging out more than others. That's fabulous. I'm doing what I want. I'm horny. Shut up. What happened? What are we doing? I definitely smelt of sports. I don't think it exists. But sports anime training arc? Oh, that'd be nice. Don't call her Mataro. We went through this. You're demented. Okay. How many stages? Forbidden fifth panel? Explain? Yeah. Mm-hmm. What? You're forgetting the despair in all of it, he says. Oh my god. Oh. 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 Got your ass. I think this joke's quite funny, chat. I like this one. It's something, alright. Whatever you say, man. Oh, festival, of course. That's very pretty as well. I liked that. Shaved ice? Oh. Most certainly is normal. Do they have tails? They're cute. Oh, there we go. I would refrain from looking up the chicken's bumhole. Elaborate. Yeah? I don't eat the... Don't... What, a little spinny thing? I guess. What country do you live in? Like the ringtone there, that's quite good. You kinda are, though. Oh! Wow. No, that's even worse. What can I do then, man? Pinwheel from Dark Souls? Maybe. Oh yeah, I like these things. Ooh. What are you doing, man? I guess at the festival, though. What do you think I'm being fooled? You think there's going to be an ad on it or something? She looks fine. Man, I think you're getting a little bit fucking... You're freaking the kids out. I like the seal. That's a smaller seal? I just thought it was like a cool thing, man. Yeah, dancing and sobbing. I guess. You'll never have to worry about that, Nami. Yeah, those interstitials are... Pie? He's certainly going. Yeah, put him on the Mikoshi. Oh, he's all nervous. Fucking nerds. We're seeing the process happen in real time. The bubble. Pirates of the Caribbean. Ah, no. Isn't 3 good enough? Dai Kazoku? Throw some dango in there, and then you're in business. Oh. Yeah, these cunts will just carry whatever. Operation Messy. Oh, the world's best stalker. It's the exact opposite of what a stalker would want. Oh! Another person that doesn't want to be in the limelight. It's true. Well, I mean, they kind of can. There's some kind of greater conspiracy? Mikoshi? Oh, no, they're catfishing. No way. Shit's so fucking random. That sound effect is elite. Oh, it's a fad. Oh, that's cute too. Me neither, man. These feel like Yakuza NPCs that I would have beaten up 5 minutes ago. Yeah, can't do anything with her. What? Celebrate her normalness? Is that going to get any traction? Look, she's astonishingly normal. Just did fine. What is that? Some kind of lantern or something. Everyone keeps getting caught by these guys. They carry anyone, man. Same bit. Funny, I guess. The Mikoshi thing's crazy. I think we're trying to say something about fads and elevating people and like relating it to like a common thing that would be at festivals and that kind of thing, right? And then we start to talk about other things being elevated in society beyond their means and that it's all very artificial. I think that's neat. It took me a while to understand what the hell was going on. First half's great. All the manga stuff there's fantastic. And yeah, I mean, jokes per minute, laughs per minute, it's still very good. I was just confused, which again, welcome to the show. That's what happens all the time. It also stinks of maybe some puns going on with Mikoshi. Love the song for the ED too. Jazzy. Beautiful doctors are not real? That's very pretty too. That art style reminded me of Urusei Yatsura, or maybe like a Rama Half or something. Okay. Interesting. Moving swiftly onwards to episode 8. And there we have it. Episode 8 up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 42 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. Salary, subset, picture-in-picture in the description below. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Kagero? Oh, this is the... yeah. That's a bit fucked. You can't take a photo of this fucking guy. I seem to remember the background gag of him kind of fading out of existence in the past. Yeah, no. That was probably a pun, chat. The first joke with him in the show was he thought he was being spoken to, but he wasn't. Like, I think it was Chiri or Kafka or one of the two was actually the one speaking to him. Or each other, not him. Sure, I guess that's his bit. Isn't Kage something... isn't that generally shadow? Maybe. Again, we'll get all the language stuff in due time. I wonder if that was a one-off or we'll focus on him a little bit more as well. Usui? Was his name maybe as well? It does really look like a funeral shot for him, for Kometa, in the opening there. Semen. Very cool. I fucking love semen. Anyway, now that's on film. Oh yeah, now we're focusing in. Cunt, that's a JPEG. That's trippy as hell. And also it's my good friend Maida, I'm pretty sure as well. At least he noticed you. Yeah. He sounds like there's some Eminence and Shadow BS. They're just still not noticing bro either. There you go. There you go, there's the pun. Fucking Tom Hanks? Sure. Pierre Curie? Oh, really? In her shadow, of course. Really? Fills me with despair or something. What? I don't even know what the populations of those two are these days. Are they more Indians or Chinese? Who are you? Oh, already ignored. See, the grand irony to him despairing about being, you know, not noticed when there's a character being not noticed. Wow, that's the opposite of the shadow. What? Oh, no! Excuse me. I mean, that's an adult, so, like, what are you supposed to do? Ah, see. I got the joke, yes. Wait, are they relating on a certain issue, potentially? Oh, that's nice. Chat, it's $10. I'm keeping $10. And then old mate brought in $1. I found a briefcase full of money. Yeah, that is kind of scary. The inconspicuous guy just continuing to even be overshadowed to the point of not being mentioned is very good. The splendidness in shadow? That's a way to look at it. I know one of those. I've got no clue. Oh, it's old mate. I know. Oh, that's very good. That was just your character archetype. I guess. Whoa! Current year. Nope. Also, the hairline at fucking age 16 is atrocious. Oh, yeah, the photo's very good too. That was very funny. I quite enjoyed that segment. New term? I guess they were kind of on summer holidays. We kind of had the vibe. Oh, okay, yeah, extra time. What's he doing? No. Too hard. Okay, shit. She called my bluff. Yes. Criticism training? Okay. It sounds like fire drill. Everyone's got to be cyberbullied once. Just feel... You need to feel something. Circumcised? Who's this guy? Oh, okay, we're playing with that. Sure. Mmm. That was kind of... I liked that. People are continuing to watch. I didn't expect there to be such a... like a Chie Komori thing. I like this guy already. This is my kind of gentleman. Those shots were very interesting too. Why? I don't think she needs any training. I think she's had a gut full her entire life. Really? Not once? This guy's great. Well... No, not the shampoo. That keeps my side part the way it is? It looks like cheap gum. His fucking grin is so good. Talk some shit on the kids. It builds character. This whole gum hair thing is a little bit random, though. The use of shadow in this episode. You fucking Steven Seagal or something? And everyone's fucking dead. Oh, more fire drill stuff. Get down low and go, go, go. Yes, indeed. Is fucking Godzilla here? I feel like that was some kind of something that's going over my head. Oh. Nah, he can't even see you, bro. But at least he'll get criticized. At least he noticed you. Wait, what? Yeah. Thought it may have been something like that. He looked right through you. Oh. Just the no-sell is crazy. Oh. Nobody's noticing you, big dog. Characters that are literally you. That is literally me. I blend into the background. Wow. Oh, we can see him. Oh, he's here the entire time. Yeah, you could see the reflection. Guess it reflects the light as opposed to the shadow. You reckon? I went to school with some kids that were fucking balding when they were 16. I'm dead ass. Yeah, just big boned, yeah. I'm her fan. I'm gonna fucking cancel this guy. Quick. Don't tell me what to do. This cunt is bald. Do the SpongeBob movie meme. He's fucking bald. That it's true. Some people are really into that. Oh, them in the back are kind of scary. It's just the truth, though. Are you the demographic of person I was talking about before? Starts with a ma, ends with a sasukistic. Yeah, the blush. Nah, you're boring. Wow. Oh, no, he's invisible again. She's just here. Mari is crazy because, like, she just fucking does whatever. Was this Psycho? Psycho with a nunchuck? Freddy Krueger? Had like a stamp? Okay, Scream, Raging Bull, something. Don't know what that is. What's the joke? Oh, it was Fura. No way. The backstabbing little twerp. Does that just say Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei? I don't even know what that says. I'll never know. That's crazy. Ooh, he looks gaunt. I mean, I've seen enough Psycho parodies in my life to, know what they're talking about. Very famous shot. It's sad that I know the Simpsons version more than the other version. Penguin drum. When they get meta like that, it's very fun. Like last episode with the ad break, and this is the end. Very fun. Whose episode was it? I forget. What was the Psycho though? Why? It was funny. I like this song. Funny episode again. I do like it when we get a bit meta and like step away from the story almost and think about what the characters are and their utility and everything going on, and then try to criticize them on that level. Like a lot of the show's that, and I think it's one of its best looks. Yeah, I mean, I did say, are we ever going to get like an episode about one of the boys? And we did. I think there is one boy, and I think it's this pathetic loser dude. What was his name? Usui? Kage something? A very focused episode too. It was kind of entirely about that guy. Well, mostly. The fire drill part was odd, but I liked the guy. I thought the guy was quite funny. She got me. No way. Who are all those freaks? Oh, they want it too. Yeah, bet. Please step on me with high heels. I'm joining the line. Who isn't joining the line? And yeah, a little bit of analysis upcoming on those two episodes, albeit probably tomorrow, as I am tired. So I'll see you then. And we're back. It's the next day. 2 more episodes of Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei watched. What did I think? Thought they were hilarious. I really, really liked them. If I was to, I guess, carry a through line through the both of them, I guess it would be meta. I like the parts where we're extremely meta about the creation of the media we're watching. Specifically in this episode, episode 7, all the stuff around story structure and 4-koma manga really hit for me. I thought that was quite smart. Very, very smart, actually. And then, of course, the central conceit of episode 8 is that there's a character who is invisible and nobody like notices the character. And again, it's been kind of builds into itself, right? Because he's always kind of been around, but the audience hasn't been privy to him, right? It kind of saw him just kind of fade into the background a couple of times in the past as well. It's like, oh yeah, that's why we haven't seen him, because we can't, because he doesn't have the ability to be seen. It's very funny in a show that already has a character that is designated as the normal boring one, that you're even more normal and boring beyond her normal boringness, right? Like, funny. Very, very funny. And some really fun camera work there, obviously, just cutting him out of a lot of shots, having him just like kind of right in the corner. You can kind of imagine the manga panels to go along with it, right? Just the camera doesn't like the guy. We don't want to see him. Let's focus on the characters that actually matter. If we're to take a step back and consider, I guess, last week's events into this week's events, I'm a little bit surprised we didn't meet up with any of those characters we introduced that were like his family members. Specifically Rin. I would have expected her to be back again by now, but could be wrong there. Maybe she's just a bit character. I thought that she would be a bit more important the way we're setting her up. And did we mention references? There's a fuck ton of references, especially this episode. Of course, the episode where they go to frickin' Comiket is the one that, you know, has all the stupid references in it. As always, there was a few that I understood, a few that I shouted at in the reaction, you know, itself, but most of them straight over my head. Straight over my head, because in 2007, I was 10. There you go. Age reveal, I guess, by the way. Yeah, of course I don't know any of this shit. Are you kidding me? But either way, let's dive back through here. Quick, smart, and I'll shout out the things I liked. How about that? And maybe the things I didn't, we'll see. So we start the episode here with Harumi. Harumi Fujiyoshi, I believe is her last name, which is funny. And her weird-ass feet. I don't know about these, but not the way that I would have drawn them. Conspicuous hand coming out of the rubbish bin as well. We don't like that. Now, these concerned me in the moments, but I think, at least back in the day, like an energy drink would be like a shot, right? If you were to have like a pick-me-up, it would look like this, right? So that's what she's doing. It's basically like she's got cans of like White Monster in her room. That's the vibe, I guess. Because I was like, oh my god, she's abusing. That's no good. Not really the vibe. A bit different. So here's the setup. We have Harumi. She likes BL manga, among other things. Dojinshi. And she's written one herself, and she wants to go get it copied because she's going to sell it at the comic market, of course. Comiket, I don't know which one you want to go with there, but they're, you know, that big event in Tokyo where you go and, you know, big convention of like-minded people in that, of a similar ilk, let's say. I think very notably, this event is something that happens in summer as well, which may be in reference to our whole kind of, you know, summer vacation vibe to this episode, I guess. Or this kind of set of episodes almost. Yeah, I guess they're on holidays. Maybe they mentioned it. I forget. My people are telling me that apparently this is a parody of Alias, which is a show, an American TV show that came out in 2001. I must have seen it parodied somewhere as well because I recognize the music along with this kind of visual style. So it's an Alias reference, everybody. This would be a good chance to spin off into another anecdote as well. I think the show, I don't know if I'm getting more used to it or it's getting better at this kind of stuff. I don't feel like it's relying on just the reference for the joke as much. Or if it is a reference, you can kind of infer what they mean by it, right? I wasn't surprised at all when I looked up the difference between the doujinshi that you're thinking about and the doujinshi that she's thinking about, right? Of course, I'm familiar with hers, but yours I wasn't. But again, you kind of get the vibe, right? I think there's a good visual indicator here of like a, you know, written page versus, you know, this stuff, right? Something that's a little bit more sophisticated. Let's just do this one verbatim because it's here. Fujiyoshi, do you belong to the Araragi school or the Shirakaba society? So doujinshi weren't always fan-created manga, dates back to the 1800s. An early example is Araragi, a magazine that debuted in the early 20th century, which is basically poems. So if you're contributing poems, then hey, you ascribe to that kind of school. As for Shirakawa, they were a group of Japanese writers, artists, poets, and more who rejected Confucianism? Sure, and instead favored concepts like idealism and individualism. In 1910 until 1923, they published a literary magazine called Shirakawa, or White Birch, which they used to spread ideas of Western art into Japan. All very sophisticated, all very highbrow, very, very university-pilled, versus smut. That's the joke. And if we scroll down here even a little bit more, it's just Gundam again. That's what she's referencing when we go through this scene, right? It's like, I don't know what Araragi is. It could be like a weird ship name. I'm more into this ship. Funny. Good stuff. I like this. Again, really feel like they're hitting their stride a little bit more with those kind of jokes. I just intuited it without knowing all the fucking history. I don't know, made me enjoy it more. It was good. Also, extra lore, you could say that there's some stuff here about Itoshiki really not being able to read without his glasses. So, one to watch. We just keep it in the back of the mind. I will say, in general, there's a setup to this part of the story, which kind of seems like a, there's a misunderstanding. There's a, what's the word? There's a chance for comedy here that they don't all the way go through with, right? There is a misunderstanding between the two characters, and it doesn't really end up in a place where either is particularly super embarrassed, which I guess is refreshing. We didn't go down such a rote storyline, but there was an opportunity there that you could have dragged it out a little bit more, have Itoshiki in over his head with the weebs a little bit more than he already was. I don't know, just putting it out there. Could be a thing that we explore later too. I'm also trying to get it out of my head that we have Kamiya saying the words Araragi. I'm trying to get it out of my head. He plays a very famous character in the future after this point called Araragi, or, he's called other things as well, but Araragi most of all. Fortuitous, maybe? Who can say? Who can say? And by the looks of this, I need to get into this fucking Gundam Seed stuff. It keeps getting referenced. Yeah, this is what I mean by the visual accompaniment, which probably helps with the joke in my opinion, right? Just literally text on screen. The two things that these people are thinking about are two very different things. From here, we have the comedy, right? It kind of feels like it's a little bit Sesame Street, but it works for me. Works for me that's not in it, I guess. And yeah, there's the other side, obviously. A little bit more poetry and philosophy and that kind of stuff, right? The classic definition of the word before the weebs ruined it. Not even weebs, I can't even say that. Otaku? That would work. Yeah, as I said before, there is the setup for the joke of Itoshiki going to Komike, right? It's like, oh my god, that's going to be a fish out of water. He won't know what to do with himself. The crowd's not really his vibe, I guess, right? We don't take that to the nth degree, for better or for worse, I think. Now, as always with these kind of scenes, I'm sure that there's plenty of references to various things in the background that I am not particularly privy to, right? What's this little freak up here, too? That doesn't mean they're not there. That doesn't mean they're not funny. I'm just not privy to them, and that's okay. Now, what I can praise is I love the little kind of, what would you call them? They're like, can VLC behave too? They're like little puppets on like paddle pop sticks or something, and we're giving it like a real kind of physical, tangible motion. They're little like stands. I like them. Again, how do we get the hustle and bustle of a big crowded scene when we don't want to draw that many people and render such a location in such high detail? Like this. That is creativity from kind of what binds you, right? You're taking your boundaries and you're letting them define the creativity in a very cool way. It's making you make cool decisions. Very, very cool to see from Shaft. I mean, contrast this against, I guess the only other one I'm thinking of at the moment, which is the only other anime trip to Komike. There's one in Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, of course. And yes, if you're going to talk about the production decisions of Shaft versus Kyoto Animation, of course they're going to be very different. Kyoto Animation just blows it out of the park by rendering such things fully realized. Just as much money as possible, as much talent as possible thrown at it, right? Each have their own advantages and disadvantages, I think. I can finally pause, chat room, and read our little note up here. So that's a Uroken cosplay, right? Now, Uruken is a contraction of Rurouni Kenshin, of course, which I am familiar with without ever watching. I believe one of the characters has a scar on their head. I think that's what this is in reference to. And yes, it is a period piece, so Itoshiki's garb may be a little bit more appropriate for such a time. Therefore, he's being seen as a cosplayer instead of somebody that's doing this legitimately, right? Now, I didn't think it was a big, Fujoshi thing, but maybe it is. The chicks digging Rurouni Kenshin? I don't know, maybe. And a fun follow-up joke here for Tsunetsuki. She's kind of jealous of the whole this thing going on. Hey, yeah, you're also cosplaying as well because you wear the same thing that he does, right? This time we're referencing Sakura Wars, I believe, which I think is a video game. So sure, a woman's life begins at 30? What are you talking about, man? Ooh, now these things as well. Let me get this artist's name. Alphonse something. Yes, here we go. All of these kind of eye catchers in this episode are references to the paintings of Alphonse Mucha, who is a Czech painter and illustrator. Now, I did a little bit of research here and there about the man himself, but I couldn't see a great connection to the characters being portrayed, that being Chie and Komori. Can't really see what's going on there, but sure, it's a point of reference. I don't know. Art Nouveau, modern art, modernism, as stylistic choices there too. Maybe they just chose it because it was cool. That could be a thing. But yeah, as you can see there, the 4 seasons being referenced pretty specifically as one of the major ones here. Next up we have Itoshiki versus fat, disgusting nerd type dude who, you know, again, this is a book of poetry and literature. Of course he's not interested in it. I mean, look at him. Now, I don't know why we're doing a lucky star here, and then in 2 more frames we do I believe that's a code Geass here. I don't understand why, but we do. Maybe you're getting jump scared by all the anime in front of you. The one person that ends up buying one of his doujinshi is Fura, and it results in this reaction. I don't know what this is still, but it's very evocative. And of course we have Tsunetsuki taking notice. If Fura is getting a lot of attention and hugs and stuff from Itoshiki, if she buys the stuff, then I'm gonna buy all of them. Then he'll have to shower all of his love on me. That's the joke, everybody. I quite like it. It doesn't work the same the second time, though. Back over with Harumi. Let's see if she's going any better. A few funny little looking dudes in the background, too. I'm guessing you could probably tell who these are if you're a bit more fucking switched on than I am. But this is Chiri. Chiri's going to have a read of this kind of material. Of course, she's not going to approve. I hate being the resident joke explainer again, but the fact that she's not mad at the material in the books, being, class president, very studious type, right? She's not that mad about the boys kissing boys and the lewdness of it all, right? She's more mad about the story structure involved, and that it's, it's not living up to the standards of traditional, Eastern story structure. So funny. That's the probably funniest joke this session, I would say. It's very, very good. Really, really, Shiri is right up there, man. She's, one of my big favorites for sure. Just whatever you think that she's going to object to isn't exactly what she objects to, and I think that makes her very interesting. Her jokes always come across as unexpected for me personally. And yes, I did read up on this one as well. If you, conjoin all of the phrases that she just said, yamanashi, ochinashi, iminashi, then it's yaoi. So that's the joke, everybody. I also think part of the joke there is that Chiri would be very familiar with Forkoma because it's a bit more of a childish style. Bear with me, right? She probably hasn't been keeping up with the latest manga trends and probably only read comics and that kind of stuff when she was a lot younger. Obviously, 4 comas are pretty accessible for younger audiences. Maybe that's why she has such an affinity for it. It's also a very clean and numerical style of writing, you would say as well. Where again, you have a template, you have a very rigid structure that you're playing within. And again, she talks about it here. It's the key something structure. We'll talk about it. So let's review the manga now that it's changed, right? Obviously still playing in the Gundam Seed type areas, I believe. So we start off with key, introduction, sure, development. So we meet two boys play sport with each other. Now, I recognize this kind of ball-looking fucker from G-Witch, so maybe I'm halfway there with you kind of guys. I don't know. Next up, we have 10, which is Climax. The two boys end up fighting after playing that game for a bit. It results in fisticuffs. And then Ketsu, which is the conclusion, which is that they sleep together. Very, very cool. They beat each other up so much that it makes them want to fall in love. It's that, gay enemies to lovers type shit that, I don't know, they're into it, I'm not into it. I don't know who this NPC in the background is, but I wouldn't imagine that they're particularly happy about this for whatever reason. Anyway, seeing something that's normally pretty upfront, portrayed in such a format is quite funny. Now, for the record, how much experience do I have with 4-Koma? Not really much. A little bit with Azumanga Daioh, which I thought was pretty funny, but was it the structure doing that, or was it just well written? It's hard to say. After that debacle, we then get to the part with manga Koshien. So I don't know the specific reference, which is to touch, apparently. But this just stinks of every single sports anime I've ever seen, where you have this kind of emotional experience and then you proclaim out to the world that you want to make it somewhere. Fucking K-On! Even does this, right? With the whole Budokan thing, which kind of goes nowhere. But anyway, K-On! Video essay aside, I think this is, again, quite funny. I don't know. After having this experience here at Comic-E and then being like, let's make it to the top. This was inspiring for me, and kind of portraying that feeling outward. Funny. Very, very good. Made me chuckle. And then I just think we make up a bunch of bullshit about, like, what a potential manga Koshien would be. And Shuri loves it because we're giving Harumi, like, actual long-term tangible goals, which, again, she likes what she likes. That's definitely up her alley. So Kisho Tenketsu, which is the structure we were doing before, it's actually pretty famous. It's applicable to a lot of Eastern style stories. And again, I'm mentioning it because we continue on with such a concept in this next scene with Maria, right? Also, I believe that this is like a brain training. Remember brain training for the DS? I think that's a reference to this. Or that this is a reference to that, I should say. And yeah, here we have it translated, right? So this joke is twofold. It's probably more like sevenfold, but sure. So, Maria is small girl. She shouldn't be writing manga about like historical tragedies in Japan, massacres, right? We're taking, again, that very childish style of manga as a 4-Koma, and we're being like, okay, what if it was about a terrible day in Japanese history? And yes, this is the next part of the joke. Maria misheard each kanji for Ki, Sho, Ten, Ketsu for other kanji of the same pronunciation. Demon, wounds, heaven, blood. I don't think you know the structure the same way that we know the structure. Yeah. Funny. Quite funny, actually. Just I guess the kanji portion is the one that's really going over my head, but I just think there's different, same pronunciation, different kanji, different meaning. And yes, I guess it's important to double down on these concepts, because now we go into the forbidden fifth stage here, of course, which is, it's his, despair joke again. It's the underside of whatever the happy story is, right? It may seem like there's a happy conclusion here, but what happens in the aftermath, right? After happily ever after. He's diving deeper here, Toshiki is. So taking the same example as before, what if after they slept together, it ended with hemorrhoids? That's the darkness. And yeah, we go through a few other examples here. Mostly, again, this is just the reference corner. If I had to be critical again, I really don't like the parts where, I think there's one coming up, I might as well just pause on it. Not this part. Yeah, this stuff. So, all this text on screen, all this kind of stuff down here, just like, blah, 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 blah. Here's a million examples of XYZ thing. Again, it's just too much. It's too much for me. again, I'm not the target audience. It's probably doing wonders for the people that understand all the references. It's like, oh my god, it just keeps elevating on itself. They just keep saying more and more ridiculous things. I know the reference. I understood that, and I imagine that's great. I'm just, again, not there. Again, just don't really like the rapid fire sections as much. Now, I don't know what this like massive fourth wall break is, where Fura turns to the camera and says that it's time for a commercial break. But again, it made me laugh, and that's all that matters. Now, chat, it wouldn't be a slice of life anime if we didn't do a summer festival section. So I'm very, very happy it's here. I will say, once we get into the second half here, and it's all just Mikoshi nonsense, I may skip past a lot of it because it's nonsense. I get the general idea. It's like putting things on a pedestal. And the again, what's the underbelly of that? What's the real dirt? Isn't the media machine crazy? Like that kind of vibe. But yeah, before that we get a couple little vignettes of some summer festival stuff, which I like. I like it quite a bit. Nami's back here, and the joke is that Nami is normal, as always. She picks strawberry. Strawberry's a basic bitch flavor. Go for the freaking blue Hawaii or whatever. It's way better. Next up we have Abiru and Maria, I believe, where Abiru does her joke with tails. There's also little chicken, so I don't know what the... Is that something at a festival? Like little multicolored chickens for whatever reason? Chicks, I guess you would call them. And yeah, Maria does her clueless shtick, where she looks at all the chickens and says... Wait, you're strawberry, you're blue Hawaii, like the snow cone flavors from the previous segment, or shaved ice if you wanted to be specific. Of course, we also have all the girls in kimonos as well. If we're going on broadcast order, right, 6 into 7, it would be the second episode in a row that they are in such garb as well, are dressed that way. That's kind of interesting. Here we have a stupid segment about a spiral thing, and then... I don't know, Kaire gets mad. Putting it in a certain place is a signal that you're wearing no panties, and then Meru gets mad at her. I don't know, man. We're just kind of doing whatever. More references here on the kind of mask rack as the Mikoshis start to enter the scene. I don't know about the Mikoshi part. I don't know, Itoshiki's just back on his bullshit. He's just gonna say whatever. And again, just reiterating, broadly this is the joke. Many plotters of the industry aim to put anything on a Mikoshi to see if they can find a chance to market it. He sees the use of Mikoshis as cynical, and if you're not an avid, smart, switched-on consumer, then you will be swindled. Again, you're looking for something that isn't there. You're poo-pooing something that is generally just a bit of fun. They're just a thing at festivals that people do, man. There's no big conspiracy. And again, as always, I'm sure these are hitting a lot more if you understand what comedians we're referencing here, for instance. Or there was a not-so-beautiful, beautiful lady before. If you know who we're referencing there, it probably hits. I will say the consistency between both segments with this kind of style, getting across crowd in a very cool way, is a nice touch. Again, helping that episode feel like a contiguous thing as well. This whole segment can't help but feel like, you know, hits blunt society. Like a little bit, like he's just, everything's out to get you, man. The media, you've been brainwashed too, like that kind of vibe. I knew too many people like that previously. I don't need to go into that kind of mindset again. I will say this art style that we give to these like freak weirdo middle-aged men, I bring it up because next episode there is a freak, weirdo, middle-aged man that has some very good faces and this kind of really gruff voice, and I find it quite funny. I think this kind of style, it's almost something universal about it, just this look here. It just tells you everything. There's just like a real kind of like swindler energy to it that I like. Oh yeah, fun subversion of the joke here as well, this being kind of a Mikoshi of a book about somebody that died, and it sold a bajillion copies and whatever. Of course you would be interested because it involves death and suicide. That's kind of your whole thing, right? Next up, there's really smart Pi kid. He can recite Pi quite well, sure. To the point where the kid gets a movie deal and is in Pirates of the Caribbean. Pretty good. It's good gear. Also very topical for when the show came out too. Oh, I do really like this joke though. Nami saying that Pi... Really? That many digits? Isn't 3 just good enough? Isn't that the most normal answer? Like, It's the most lukewarm take you can have. It's like, yeah, but wouldn't it be better if it was just 3? So, you're missing the mathematical wonders of pi. It just, yeah, really adds along to a normal, unexceptional kind of shtick. And then, I don't know, a baby kicks a soccer ball and then he goes up there too. There's lots of bullshit in this part, man. But that doesn't mean they still don't have good gags. They do this gag for both Sinetsuki and Kimori. Or Komori, I should say. Yeah, they're characters that are, like, by their nature, like to stay in the darkness and hidden, right? You're a stalker, she's a shut-in. Let's put them both up on a pedestal, and they fucking hate it. It's good gear, you set up a character trait and then you subvert it. It's pretty easy stuff. Another example of the part which I don't really like, that just the reference. It's like crazy, I don't know. I can hardly keep up. And then, yeah, we point at it and say that it's fucking despair. I think you're losing the meaning of the word there, buddy. I believe this is the same character as next episode too. She seems like she's gonna be recurring, which is funny. Just online, she like catfishes everybody into thinking that she's like this cute idol type person when, she looks like that. Another just like really particular shout out. The strike sound effect when we show her hairline, because it's straight down the middle. You'd be in the hit zone, right? Very, very, very good. And yeah, Chiuri becomes the next victim of the Mikoshi because of that, because of her exceptionally normal hairline. I believe Nami is the last one here that we end up carrying as well. And again, she's just normal. Yeah, it's a little bit underwhelming after everything. I agree, you guys. The same cutaway for the ending as well. So we go to Chie. It's like, I wonder if anybody will end up carrying me too. And then, like, we cut to this shot, and then this wide. Maria's just there, and then Fura just looks at the camera and says, "The end." So good. Something about the timing and the edit there is just exceptional. It's very, very funny. And yeah, just before we end this episode as well, remember how I said this looked like Ranma Half or Urusei Yatsura or whatever? It's because it's the same mangaka. Like, just straight up. Rumiko Takahashi. I would imagine that she's particularly famous. I believe that's a Inuyasha as well. There's a lot of really, really, really popular manga, man. Next episode now, and it's all about Usui Kagero. He's the bald guy. He's the guy that's balding even though he's 15. When I was born into this world, the doctor didn't notice my birth. The general gist here is he's unnoticeable. He's the most regular anime boy that's ever anime boyed anywhere. Even more so than the girl that's designated as the normal girl. Just imagine the outright disrespect of taking a picture for a photo album of your, 5-year-old son and not even having him in frame. It's insane. It's insanity. And yes, I do like this as an example because it's how the camera, and I'm guessing the paneling in the manga, will treat him from here on in. He's never center stage, is he? This one's also very hurtful. Imagine taking a professional photo, like a school album, and being cut out. So yeah, this guy's a bit of a fucking loser. That's the vibe, I guess. And he wanted to become kind of class president so he would stand out more. And then they got his name wrong on the roll even then. And he still hasn't stood out. Because I haven't noticed him in the show, have you? After the opening, we run into Maida, or Maida kind of runs into us. And we're also nothing. He doesn't even notice that he ran into anybody. Also, question, is this Maida's actual voice? Very, very important kind of investigatory journalism I need to do on the subject. And then he almost gets, truck-kunned, which is no good. And then it cuts to Itoshiki, who's like, please don't come into my shadow. But as it turns out, he wasn't talking to you. Who's even behind my camera right now. Oh my god, the framing, it's insane. He was talking to the actual characters that matter, who enter frame soon. There they are, in the light, right? Not in the shadow, in the light, because they're important. And look at you, wallowing in the shadow. I should mention Usui Kagero. It's obviously a pun. Kage there meaning shadow. It's all in good fun. It's good stuff. It almost makes Satoshi look like this kind of poser outcast, right? Because we have the real outcast that nobody's even noticing even now, right? Like, he likes to play up this despair shtick, like, I've never been loved, I'm Itoshiki, blah. There's a guy right in front of you that none of you are noticing who's having the worst time of his life consistently. He's just not as flamboyant about it. We tend to do this a lot. I'm noticing this is a structure we go for. Let's introduce general concept, right, of whatever we're doing, right? Itoshiki will come in and say, it's actually like this in society. And then we'll list examples of what he's talking about. The example here being people that are being overshadowed, right? Now, this was some interesting trivia that I did not know. Here we have Pierre and Maria Curie, right? Or Marie Curie. Oh, Marie Curie, I guess. That's generally how I know her. Very famous scientist. I didn't know that her husband was also a very, very famous and accomplished scientist, and both of their kids were very acclaimed and accomplished scientists, right? Overshadowed. Great example. Very funny again, we have Usui Kaguro here trying to interject, and then just getting overspoken by Chiri here. Like, again, you don't matter. Nobody knows who you even are. The doctor heard you wailing and did nothing when you were born. You were eternally doomed to be the least important person in the world. Another great example of the framing from before is here. Just cut him out of the scene, man. He does not matter. Once again, we do the rapid fire shtick. I've said my piece. I do like this one here about Krillin, right? So a Saiyan, right? Goku, Vegeta, that kind of vibe, right? Very strong. Krillin's very strong too, and he doesn't even have all that extra bullshit. He just gets overshadowed because, he doesn't have that extra bullshit, I think that's pretty astute. The other one here I'm noticing is I'm guessing there's two people with the same name, that being Takuya Kimura, one being a J-pop star, the other one being a baseballer. We already know the show and its penchant for baseball stuff, as we can see up here as well. I'm guessing that the pop star probably overshadowed the baseball player in name recognition. And yeah, the tragedy here is that Itoshiki is spitting some facts, something that Usui Kaguro here can really relate to, but he's being ignored, even now, by the one person that may understand what it's like to be overshadowed, and really understand the deep, dark underbelly of that side of things. It's still getting unnoticed. Tragic. That is tragic as that hairline, too. We're still really doing the ecchi thing, too. Like a lot. There was a lot of panty shots last episode, which is fine. I think it plays into the joke here, because you're very much somebody that doesn't get overshadowed. I mean, I thought that's where we were going before she ends up getting overshadowed by, Yeah, a lot of Chie-specific fan service, because then we have the whole part at the end of the episode where we do, like, the masochistic thing. At least she's an adult. At least she's an adult. We'll take it. We'll take it, folks. It's another quick one I really liked as well. Itoshiki finding essentially $10 on the ground and returning it to the police station, which is already, like, craziness. We have Kagero here trying to return, like, a nickel, essentially. 50-cent piece. No, doesn't matter. And then Fura finds a briefcase full of cash, which is just, I have questions. But of course, that's the thing that overshadows even Itoshiki in that scene. And of course, Fura is here to do her shtick now as well, which is, hey, you're not thinking about all the good sides about living in the shadow as well, right? It comes with its set of advantages as well. She's always spruiking that kind of side of it, always look on the bright side of life. It's kind of her motto, Life of Brian style. Halfway through Fura's little explanation, we actually have Usui getting noticed, which is fun. And of course, he's a little bit miffed, but everyone's like, oh, yeah, sorry, man. Who the fuck was that? Who was that? Like, they keep doing that kind of thing, which I like. I do like the show calling this out as well. I always thought that Chiri was the class rep as well, because that's her character archetype, the class rep. But no, he's the guy that does the actual work. She just gets all the clout and all the character kind of tropes that come along with it. Like, that's very, very funny. Just again, the little guy getting kind of shit on here. Then Fura says some bullshit about him being a fairy or something. I don't really understand that part of it. I guess seeing Usui Kaguro as an aberration, as like a fairy, is like a mythical being before being something that could actually be like real because of how thin the shadow is. He's like yokai adjacent as opposed to being like a corporeal thing. Last segment of the episode now, when we have a Toshiki late for school. So, okay. It's the first day of the new semester. Because of all the shit that he's had to endure with the kids kind of following him on summer vacation and him doing like, they basically met up a bunch of times, right? He put extra time on the clock, stoppage time in like soccer, right? It's like, no, I get I spent 5 hours with you guys, therefore I'm adding up a tally of 5 more hours in the future that I don't need to spend with you guys. Very, 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 very funny. Yeah, we even get the breakdown here. Trip to the seaside school, giving tours of the family home, and miscellaneous. Yeah, those were segments in the show. Either way, Chie drags him in with a fucking chain around his neck, which he probably gets some kind of sweet sadistic satisfaction from, but I digress. He's back, and we can continue the lesson. Either way, Itoshiki feels like this is some kind of deep-seated attack on him as a person, so he spins this off into a segment about criticism training, which is a pun on a fire drill, right? Which is something that you would tend to do when coming back, especially during the summer holidays as well, you'd be guessing, right? Hey, let's get the safety stuff out of the way first and foremost, so then we can, you know, it's legal stuff. You gotta knock that stuff over so we can actually just do the work. The justification here being that if you don't do the training now, you won't learn how to deal with this as an adult, and you may lead to any one of these vices here, even laying in the mud, of course. Sure, whatever justification you need to lob insults at the children. And yeah, this was the guy I was talking about before. He's got a bit of same face as the guy from last episode. See, he's from the fire department, and he's going to teach you a bunch of stuff, right? But it's not actually the fire department, it's actually, you know, criticism training as we're talking about, right? Again, you know, it's that fire drill kind of parody stuff, which I like. You would get somebody external to explain all the dangers and whatnot, right? In Australia, you generally get a lot of fire stuff, obviously. We get a lot of fires here. But it would also be like, here's like the reptile guy, and he's going to teach you about snakes and spiders and whatnot and what to do. You'd always get some kind of external third party in to teach you that kind of stuff. It made us kind of focus up. We have our first victim here for criticism training. It's the same girl from last episode, the one that isn't particularly good looking. And yeah, I love his stupid face here. He just basically says that she's fucking ugly, and he has like a weird shitty grin on his face as he does it. Like, this is the face, right? That's money. That's chef's kiss. It's so good. I don't know why we do the Chiri bit about her shampoo smelling like cheap gum. I don't know what that's about at all. It's fucking random. But it puts her hair out of whack, which is normally very straight and middle parted and proper. Kind of gets her off her game. Maybe she needs to consider some more criticism training in the future. At this point here, even like Itoshiki is like leading a chant for the class to basically bully Chiri even harder. Let's everyone call her gum hair, gum hair, gum hair, gum hair. It's like, what's the point of the video? What are we doing? Here again, we do the rapid fire section. Very, very cool. We say something about Megane here. Manme. For Abiru, sure. Oh no, that's for Harumi. That makes a lot more sense, because it's like manga and megane. Mangme. Masochistic mummy? Me? Sure. Sure, whatever you want to say for Abiru, go for it. Bobost? Bobhead ghost? You're so fucking quiet all the time. Are you Steven Seagal or something? With like a little fucking emoji. Damn, this guy's like cyberbullying world champion 4 years running or some shit. Further then makes a suggestion. She basically says if you're getting criticized, get down low and go, go, go. Which, again, the whole fire drill thing, very cool. Specifically here we're saying that it's good to, you know, have a low profile if you want to avoid getting criticized, right? That's part of criticism training. So let's go to one of the people with the lowest profile in the class. That being, Nami here. See, I even forgot her name. We're not even noticing Usui Kaguro here at all. We do a big part here, again, where we say Bari Zorgon, which means abrasive insults, which is misheard by Maria as Vali Zorgon, which I'm guessing is some kind of tokusatsu abomination, because it ends up fucking blowing fire everywhere here. It's a monstrous beast, of course. And yeah, next up, Old Mate comes over. He can't even see you. He criticizes the guy behind you instead, even though he's looking directly at you. Again, you're invisible. And yeah, this is when he has his true existential crisis. He starts to fade away from existence as we know it. But that's also the point where the divine wind blows in and actually blows his hair, among other things, out of the way, and everyone can see him. Usui, oh, Usui's here, that's great. It is some kind of sick, twisted joke. The only time that people notice you is when your hair is gone, when you're balding in your fucking teens. It's tragic, man. They only notice you on the fucking worst hair day of your life. So then he tries to own it before anyone else can criticize him for having thinning hair, because again, that's what he's self-conscious about. Which means that everyone's just kind of looking at him now like, everyone's like unsure to say it or not. They don't feel comfortable kind of shouting it out with the other characters. There's like an awkwardness there. Specifically here, he says thin hair and not balding as well, because if somebody was actually criticizing him, then they would, you know, use the full term as opposed to just thinning hair. No, cunt, you're bald. You're bald as fuck. The same vibe as this young lady here saying that she's big boned, as opposed to, you know, the alternative. There used to be somebody at school, I remember, they used to describe their hair as strawberry blonde. They were just a redhead. They were a ranger. And everybody knew it, and they didn't want to say it, but, oh yeah, it's strawberry blonde. It's like, no. You just don't like your red hair. So yeah, everyone's ready and raring to call this cunt bald, but yeah, let's get a pretty lady to do it to lessen the blow. And yeah, Chie-sensei is the decision here. So again, the thought process here is that if a pretty lady says that you're bald as opposed to any regular Joe, then that makes it better because, you know, it kind of lessens the blow there. It lessens the difference between the two of us, right? It's not a regular person saying I'm ugly. It's already a pretty person saying I'm ugly, which is like, oh yeah, I mean, I am ugly relative to you. It's like, it's better, right? What we didn't consider is the masochistic edge to it, that he may be getting off on the idea of insults from Chie-sensei. And yeah, we just call him bald. I like the silhouetting, though. It's very, very cool. Even the line work here is very cool, too. Some of this stuff. Nice. And then, yeah, something awakened within the boy. He likes getting insults from beautiful women now. I can't say I disagree with him. We're kindred spirits, birds of a feather, one may say. And then she goes thermonuclear on him, which is fair enough. I mean, he is annoying. He does deserve it. And yeah, to end the scene, we have the hair blowing back into place and Usui Kagero basically turning invisible again. There's also some fun animation here of like Maria like kicking his ass. Oh, and I shan't forget the Psycho parody at the very end. Bruce Lee? Sure, man. Yeah, so like Bruce Lee, some fucking samurai guy, Freddy Krueger, Darth Vader? What the fuck? I think that's Darth Vader. Yeah, Luke, I am your fucking father. Some dude with a chisel? Fucking Ghostface, Rocky, some other cunt. And yes, my little cheat sheet said to notice for a character at the very end that may be a little bit more recurring. I'm gonna imagine it's you. So one to watch. The character with the hair pointing just the one way. Sure. And she had a knife too. Concerning. So I guess we could take the whole Psycho kind of parody pastiche thing here as a bit more of a preview for next week. Maybe this character that's upcoming will be murderous. That's what we're trying to get across here. Very, very famous cinematic murder. Kind of the most poignant scene here, the kind of blood going down the drain, drifting away. Always very, very classic scene. Oh yes, this fun meta joke too. Whose episode was it this time? Like alluding to the fact that we're in an anime and that there are episodes and certain characters are the stars of certain episodes as well. And yeah, of course, we don't see the guy. It's Usui Kagero. He blends into the background, man. Yeah, it sucks to be this guy. He's in that Gendo Akari type shit, though. That's crazy. And yeah, what was that little eye catch? There was some bullshit about people getting off on pretty women telling them things. I'm guessing there's more references here as well. Yeah, this one. Yeah, more and more getting Penguin Drum vibes. I don't know, man. Every single time. We'll leave it there. I think I said that this episode was funny like 15 straight times, so it was funny. I don't know what to tell you. Getting towards the pointy end of season 1 now too, so we'll see. We will see. I'll catch you guys next time. Discord, Patreon, like the video, subscribe. Catch you later. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.